Good morning, beautiful people. So, welcome to the Free Movement Sewing channel, and today we're going to talk about seam allowances and why you actually need them and how you actually determine them. Now, if you're new to sewing, okay, this is going to be something that you really need to consider. Alright, so over here you can see in the video what Marina is doing is she's actually marking out 1/2 inch seam allowances. Now, bearing in mind that you can do it in cm or in inches, in centimeters or in inches, and that's up to you. But over here in free movement, we typically use the 1/2 inch seam allowances. Now, if you look at some other videos or some other instructors, sometimes they use 1 cm seam allowances. I usually like to use 1/2 inch seam allowances just because we're actually going to use a serger. And over here, what Marina is actually creating is actually a bodice piece. So this is actually one out of the many pieces that she has already cut out. And what's gonna happen is basically the serging is going to happen. Okay, so you can see the beautiful serges are done already on the other panels, the ones that I'm flipping, and it is very nicely done. But the reason why we have 1/2 inch seam allowances is because you realize that for the serger, okay, we actually have to cut off a little bit of the fabric. So that's why if we just do 1 cm, it's going to be really tight and too close for comfort. So if you don't intend to use a serger, by all means, I think a 1 cm seam allowance would really help. Okay, I'll show you what I mean by the serger will actually cut out. Now, this is a Singer serger, one of my favorite sergers, and we use this for our classes here. But for our online courses, you can just use whatever you already have at home. If you don't have a serger, alright, we actually do teach how to use it with a regular sewing machine. Okay, so you can see the sergers actually cutting out all the very rough edges and creating a very nice serge seam. Over here, we're using 4 threads for our serger. Okay, 2 woolly nylons and 2 polyester cotton threads. And that's also because over here we work a lot with dancewear fabrics, stretch fabrics. So 4 threads always work for us, and woolly nylon is always something that we love using. So with the seam allowances, we can actually cut off, because with 1/2 inch seam allowances you can actually cut off. Now, if you don't intend to cut off using your serger, you can actually turn off the cutter as well, so you can actually save on fabric and not use the 1/2 inch seam allowances. But to be honest, I would rather much prefer to use a little bit more fabric, make sure the allowances are there just so that everything is right. And you don't have to worry if there are any screw ups or anything, because you can always make corrections still. So yeah, and especially if you're working with multiple layers of fabric, I think the amount of seam allowances are definitely going to help. If you don't want to use 1/2 inch, you can use more, you can use less, just depending on you. But typically I would say either 1 cm or 1/2 inch is enough. So come and join us, like and subscribe.